Hello once again and welcome back to another episode of Father and Sundays, the unexplainable guide to absolutely nothing. This week is episode 122.
Are you sure?
Yep, and we are talking about planets and in particular Mercury today.
Okay,
So
great.
stick around if you want to hear more. Hello, how are you?
Hello, how are you?
Yep.
You remember how to do this bit?
Yeah, I had a bit of trouble remembering what I say for the opening.
I know, but
I
it's
just
been
had
a week.
I just had a blonde moment.
A blonde moment.
Yep, and I just thought, I can't remember how I normally do this podcast.
How many of these have we done?
This is the 121st.
Exactly.
And there was also a secret other episode that never got released right at the
it
start.
really?
So we've actually done 122. Yeah. Remember?
What secret one?
Camping.
Oh, yeah.
And we had to revisit it.
And we
later.
didn't actually... No, because I was thinking that we'd done it and then we just redid the same thing, but we completely changed everything we did by the time
And
we
then-
got to camping.
And then we also did another camping once. We've actually done camping episode 3
too.
times.
Oh, well, yeah. And there'll probably be another camping one as well, when we've got more stories to tell.
Camping stories, camping
Are they
stories.
true or false? Yeah.
You have to get other people's camping stories.
Well, I did it the last one. I think the last one of my camping stories, true or false, was something completely different. Someone else's experience up in Scotland or something like that, if I remember rightly.
Yeah.
How are you? It's
Not
been
bad.
a little while. Not as long as it has been at other times.
No,
but
we
did miss
there was
a
1 week
didn't we?
off.
Yeah, we had a week off.
And we're accepting that we're going to have a week off occasionally.
Yes, well, it just came in. There was a lot of things going on.
Yeah, fireworks.
Fireworks and
That's
things like that.
basically it, to be honest.
Well, we went out.
We had to go
didn't
watch
we?
fireworks.
Well, we
Well,
did.
yeah, we were going out, and it was going to be a rush to get it done before, and it was also going to be rushed to do it afterwards. So we just went.
So we just
leave
made a
it.
decision, yeah.
Made
Made
an executive decision
We're allowed to do that.
that no one would miss it for a week.
No, they probably didn't even notice.
No, I don't think anyone did.
Exactly. So what else have you done then? We had the fireworks. Did you do anything else exciting? Been working hard again, haven't you?
Yeah, it's been a busy week. I get the feeling that you're leaning towards the football.
Oh, the football. We went to the football, didn't we? Not the week just gone, but the previous week. And that was good. Well,
Yeah, because the last time we
good,
did
was
a
it?
podcast, we spoke about the fact we went to the Arsenal game, didn't we?
Yeah,
The
so we
West Ham
went to
Arsenal game.
the West Ham Olympiacos game, didn't we?
Yeah.
And we managed our time a little bit better. We only had about 2.5 hours to sort of twiddle our thumbs rather than the 3.5 hours I think we had the previous time.
Yep.
In fact, it was a lot more than that, wasn't it?
Yep.
Yes. But yeah, it was a bit eventful.
Yep.
Uh,
Yep. Oh yes, there was a fight.
There was a fight.
You weren't involved in it.
I wasn't involved in it, nearly, but I wasn't involved in it. I was on the periphery. So that was a bit, yeah. But I think that was between...
Say that again.
That was a bit...
No, the bit before.
I was on the periphery.
Periphery. Yeah, I was
Yeah.
just wondering if you'd be able to say it twice in a row.
Yeah, I can say it 3 times, periphery. But one of the incidents on the way up there was the more upsetting one.
Oh yeah, that was funny.
When I really need to go to the toilet, and we have a thing in our family that we have people that stand on guard.
Right, no. So can we just, no.
normally-
This isn't
no.
a thing in the family. This is one thing that Becky does.
Becky is paranoid that someone's going to walk into the toilet while she's in there, so she always takes someone with her so they can stand outside.
She does it around Nan's.
I know, which is a bit ridiculous.
Like tomorrow,
because
we're going to Nan's, and I can almost guarantee that if she goes to the toilet, she'll go, Connor, can you stand outside the toilet
well,
for
she
me?
probably won't listen to this before then, so we'll see if it actually happens. We'll be able to report back. But this particular one, I went into anybody who's familiar with toilets on most trains in the UK have the sliding doors and the lock system. So I went in there. It was a bit grim in there, but I needed to go, and I locked it. And then, it's a challenge standing up, going to the toilet on a train. But, I was championing it. And then suddenly I was aware that the door was opening again. And there was a young girl and either a mother or a grandmother standing out there.
Yeah.
And I'm going, trying not to expose myself, going, shut the door. There's someone in there, shut the door. And then they started coming into the toilet. And I was going, no, someone in here, shut the door.
Do you reckon they thought it was more than one, toilet in there?
Perhaps, I did think that they were...
Like they were going
They
into
weren't
cubicles.
English, right? and maybe the toilet system in their particular transport system at home perhaps allows for more than one person to go in there. I don't know.
You're just making assumptions now.
Yeah, I am. But anyway, I was frantically trying to lean back and hit the button, and it closed. It's the slowest I've ever seen a door close in my life. And I thought, I was all panicked. Then eventually I came out and I apologised to them. They just looked at me and walked in. And then I turned around to you, expecting you to either be horrified or laughing your head off. But you were on your phone.
Yeah.
And I don't think you even noticed.
Well, I did notice. See, what had happened was I wasn't designated as the toilet protector. I was never given the staff of toilet protection and the almighty powers of Gandalf the Brown. But what I instead... But I was sitting there on my phone and I watched these people walk up to the toilet, and it all happened relatively fast.
Relatively slowly.
And they pressed the button. And because you'd locked the door from the inside, the door didn't open.
No.
Yeah, so I thought, no, it's fine. They know that someone's in there. They won't, that's it. They'll just wait. Little did I know, it actually makes sense, that if you really force those doors, you can get them open. And she started to force the door.
You saw her doing that, though, didn't you?
Yeah, I saw her force the door.
Yeah, what did you say?
Well, I saw her force the door, and then you go, no, I'm in here. And I thought, well, you've got it now. You got it handled.
Oh, right, okay. Oh, well, yeah, thanks. It made me laugh. I did think you needed to go to the toilet as well.
I did need to go to the toilet, but I was never going to go to the toilet on the train.
And I walked out and I went, what the hell? And started saying to you, why did you let them know? And you went, I didn't know. And then I said, don't you want to go to the toilet? You went, no. Because I think even if you were busted, you wouldn't have got in, because I'd have been inviting people up.
Look, I didn't really want to go to the toilet on the train.
No, nor did I. But I'm 55 and I've got a bladder of a 95-year-old. Yeah. Anyway, but that was an interesting evening. You know, the football was a bit, we won, but it was a bit,
Yeah, it was not the most interesting of games.
No, but
it's a bit like the Malta game, the England-Malta game last night.
Oh, that was dire, wasn't it?
Yeah, we won 2-0, but it was... Mum even said to me, how was it? She went, I didn't really hear you guys say much.
It was about an hour and a half of my life I'll never get back. That's what it was.
She said, I didn't hear you say much. And I went, oh, yeah, it was all right. We won 2-0. She went, oh. Based on our reaction, she was a bit, it was just a really boring game.
It was terrible. Terrible. But yeah, there you go. So it's been football. Work.
All right. Rihanna. Was it Rihanna or Beyonce?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Work. Anyway.
Never heard it.
Another thing that we did, if anyone did listen to the previous podcast, you would have realised that I was very angry. Because
I know what you're saying
lost out on my burger. Now, I just wanted to let everyone know that that was my McDonald's burger. They'd never delivered the burger. They delivered everything else apart from the burger.
Furious.
I was really, really angry. This week we got McDonald's again, actually.
Yeah.
And I did have the burger, so that's good.
So you're in a slightly better mood? No.
Sure.
Yeah, if you say so. That's what I see. Okay.
Do I have to be?
You will have to be, yeah. So it's interesting, the subject matter we've gone for. So we've done things about space in a previous episode. So we did
an episode on space where we only spoke about the moon, really.
Yeah, and then we did another episode called The Solar System, which we talked about different bits and pieces, but we didn't really go into much detail. And I think you mentioned the fact, when we're trying to think of new subjects to talk about, you mentioned the fact about there's a bit of an interest in going up to space again now. Actually...
What, you?
Not me, but isn't there going to be... There's planned flights to the moon next year,
they're planning to do...
Because I saw Tom Hanks...
Moon landings.
Who obviously is qualified to talk about it. He's opening...
He went up in Apollo, didn't he?
He did.
In the Apollo program.
So he's opening an exhibition which looked really, really interesting about the Apollo missions and such like. I suppose because of the newfound interest in all this. I mean, it's interesting anyway. It was an incredible thing to do.
It's private companies that are driving it.
I guess it's a different sort of angle now that's going to happen. What I did
Makes
think,
you wonder
though,
why they're trying to escape Earth, doesn't it?
Quite. What I did think, though, is that the actual landings themselves, when I looked at the graphics and that in this exhibition, there's a part where you're on the moon, and then there's cameras and all the rest of it. While it almost looks like what they're trying to say didn't happen, which obviously we know we did land on the moon. Not me personally, but as
did you not?
No, as NASA landed on the moon. But there's many people, including you on one episode, that said that was fake. And
No, right, okay, so just to clarify, I'm just going to jump back on this. The episode where I said it was fake, we were doing secret tasks throughout the episode.
I know that. But if anybody goes back and listens to it, I was absolutely dumbstruck by your comments. I just didn't know what to do with myself. When
we got messages from Sue saying, I can't believe you think the moon land's fake. I went, keep listening.
Keep listening, you'll find out.
You'll find out I don't believe they're faked.
Yes. But, I've got...
Can you hear that noise?
What noise? No. Yeah, what's that?
I don't know. Don't think it's picked up on the audio, but...
Well, I heard it then afterwards.
Yeah.
Is it your wardrobe? Is it
I don't
haunted?
know. Yeah, it's the haunted wardrobe.
Haunted wardrobe. But Tom Hanks himself, though, he's it's incredible what he's done. And he's a good sort of person as a spokesman for this sort of thing as well. And the other actors, because obviously acting doesn't pay that much. So all of those that were involved in Apollo 13 done an incredible job. I think if you think about the guy, the one I think's the most sort of incredible out of the lot of them was the actor who was the one that helped get the Apollo mission back when it was going to fail. So that particular act, I mean, we've all got to be thankful for that, because without him sitting in that sort of test module for so long, doing all those calculations and trying all those particular things to try and get them back and save them time and cut corners and all that, Tom Hanks wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
And then you wouldn't get Toy Story or Big or anything like that. And that would be a travesty.
Yeah, you've drive down that fake Apollo tangent.
It's not fake. We've established it's real.
If you're basing it on real fact, then Tom Hanks is dead.
Oh, because he's just
at
died,
the end of the
isn't
film.
he,
At the end of the film, it says that so and so has died, and so and one of them was his character.
No, I think his character has just died.
Oh,
so put that in your pipe and smoke it. I don't know why we've
the number of the others has died. Didn't they?
I think
you've just gone back on your own word there.
Well,
what you just said there.
Anyway, look, sorry.
We're not even talking about the moon.
No, we're not talking about the moon, but we're talking
this is our
about
Planet
series, and the particular one. Well, why are we doing this? Why?
I don't know. I've been asking that for the last 121 episodes. Why are we doing this?
What each particular one?
Yeah, but why are we here?
But we're going to concentrate on Mercury.
What do you think the meaning of life is?
Oh, don't. I wouldn't like to say.
Oh,
I've been wondering that a lot lately.
You don't want to say it.
No, I just
even
think,
if you knew, you wouldn't want to say it.
It baffles me when I think about day to day what happens, and I look around me at other people. I just don't understand it anymore. But there we go. That's
just general things for you, just looking around, not understanding things, isn't it?
Well, yeah. Most of the time I'm like that, but particularly I look around at other people and think, what is going on? This can't be real, surely. But anyway, look.
Maybe it isn't.
Maybe it isn't. Maybe it is. But
it's like the amount of times my name's been mentioned today.
Oh, your name's been mentioned a lot today by
TV.
Complete strangers.
What was the show called? Escape to the Country?
There was a mystery Connor, wasn't there? And they kept talking about him. Escape to the Countryside, yeah.
Yeah. And then there was that song on the radio that sounded like it said Connor.
Yeah, it did, yeah.
Although it doesn't, I don't think it did.
Yeah.
It just slipped.
You're right. Yeah. But yeah, well, it's a popular name, isn't it?
Yeah,
there you go. Although we don't know whether that was a Connor with two N's and you're a Connor with one N, so it might be a completely different person.
Oh, it's a different name then.
It It is different entirely. Look, we've got to get back to the subject matter. Mercury.
Yeah, so he was a Greek god.
Yes.
No, he wasn't. He was a Roman god.
Roman god. So why, what's the interest in Mercury? Is it just because it's one of the planets? Or is it?
Are you saying the reason we said this for this episode?
Yeah, no, so we're starting
it's
with
because
Mercury.
It's the first planet out of all of them.
It is the first planet out of all of them, but why would we be interested in Mercury?
Be honest, there's a lot of other more interesting planets I don't really know. I can tell you a couple of things about it.
Go on.
It's closest planet to the sun.
It is.
In the day, it's really hot. And at night, it's really cold. Their days are really long. In fact, their days are years.
Their days are years?
Days are years.
I've got here, due to Mercury's slow rotation, a person on the planet would only see the one Mercurian solar day, that's 176 Earth days, every 2 Mercurian solar years. And that's 88 Earth days each. There's a 59-day long rotation.
All right, it's not years, it's days. But
a year on Mercury is 88 Earth days.
Yeah.
But
that makes sense though, because it's closer.
Yeah, but that's still. I know we've gone through this a bit before, where I've got confused.
I can hear your brain working.
It is because basically, you would say to me something like, that a certain planet, the year is the equivalent to a year is 20 years, but their days are shorter or something like that. So you could have their day being shorter or longer, and their year being the opposite sort of thing.
I think the difficulty of this thing is about what you measure it against. So for example, we're saying that 1 year on Earth is 365 days.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, or it's actually 365.25, whatever. But yeah, we can agree that. Yeah, it goes. And what makes up a year is one rotation of the Earth.
Yeah,
around the sun. Sorry, one orbit of the sun. Now, 1 day is what? One rotation of the Earth.
Yep.
Yeah. Now, what's interesting about those is also the fact that we have a year is 365.25 days is because the rotations of the Earth and the orbit of the sun don't actually match up perfectly.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is similar to what we said there is the fact that there are some planets where a year will be shorter than a day.
Yeah, I mean that messes with my head, really.
But then it's down to your perception of things. So for example, if we have 10 fingers, yeah? And so
most of us
have 10 fingers. I think the average number of fingers is very close to 10, and most people have 10.
Surely it's 8. You've got 2 thumbs.
Oh, shut up. They're the same kind of thing, aren't they?
Well, stick out of your heads.
But my point being is we've got a whole system of numbers, and what number is that based around? It's based around 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you got 10, 20, 30, they go up in tens.
Yeah.
And then you got the hundreds.
Yeah.
And essentially they go up in tens as well. Like everything groups into tens. So you got 100, 200, 300, 400 until you get up to 1,000, and everything groups into these tens. And the reason those tens have come around is because we've got 10 fingers. Yeah, they're an easy way of counting things. I don't know this 100%, but there's the easy way of. If we had 7 fingers, then we'd probably work on a different way of maths. We'd probably go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 20. And we would work like that, and the maths would still work in the same way.
Are you trying to make me fall on the floor and cry? That's based on the fact that we've got 10 fingers.
Yeah, so if we met an alien, and they had 12 fingers, then they'd probably work on a 12 basis rather than working on the 10. So that's probably the likelihood. However, that's not to say that things don't translate. So if I've got a base of 7, so
right.
I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10.
Right.
And then you go 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 20.
Right.
Yeah. Then 2 times 10 is still 20.
Yes. Yeah. It is. You sound really convincing when you say that. You could be saying absolute nonsense there, and I'd still believe you.
And what's 2 times 5?
10.
13.
What? What's going on? So that's... So actually, I can't work out how this relates back to Mercury. But
my point being is, you're saying about the days, yeah?
Yes.
So it baffles you that these days are, but in reality, the reason it baffles you is because your perception is a year is 365 days, and a day is 24 hours, and 24 hours is each hour is 60 minutes. You know, that's because that's what it's
because
made up
I
for
base what the information about. So Mercury, you say Mercury's 88 Earth days, and we've got 365 days. You know, I know it's a point, whatever, but
the same way
I base it on that, saying, well, that's really weird.
Yeah,
because that isn't what I.
Exactly.
Used to.
It's not what you're used to. The reason we count in tens is because we've got 10 fingers. The reason we measure days as 24 hours is because we live on the Earth, and a day is 24 hours.
Okay.
Do you see what I mean? So because of that, that's why we measure it in that way. If we lived on Mercury and we still measured a day, and we still said a day was 24 hours, then it would still be 24 hours on Mercury, but it would be longer by comparison to Earth.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you started your life on Mercury, you're used to that, and you just go, well, that's normal.
Yeah.
It's 24 hours. That's how long. Do you see what I mean?
I do.
So it's based on your starting position.
Right.
Driving to and fro from work 5 days this week. What on earth do you think I spied? Let's take a little peek. A woman's boobs. 2 drunk men wearing sombreros. A dead mouse in the work library. An old woman in a skip. Driving to and fro from work 5 days this week. That was some of the things I spied. See you in a few weeks.
Okay, so let's hear some facts about Mercury.
How's your brain doing?
My brain.
Yep.
I'm slightly recovered, I think, but it's teetering on the edge. It's a terrestrial planet, Mercury. Do you know what that means? Why it's a terrestrial
Isn't
planet?
that because it's got like a rocky surface?
That's exactly it. You do know stuff. Rocky body like the Earth. It's a heavily cratered surface, I think, from all the impacts, and it's very much like a moon. I believe the
Impacts
actual
of
surface of other things hitting it.
Oh, like
it
what?
would.
Like golden retrievers?
Yeah,
in
like
space?
dead animals from spaceships. The surface of the planet is
That was a
very
callback.
well preserved, since the planet has no geological activity and an extremely tenuous atmosphere.
So what that
A
means
bit like the Emirates.
well, you've
Called
written
an
that down.
No, I haven't. Called an exosphere. So when they say about a geological,
Yeah.
So they're saying there's nothing. So are they saying, like, from the point of view of Earth, we've got volcanoes? It's very much still cooking. It's still very much still happening.
I think the point being is
It's a dead planet, is it?
geologically, we've got a magma core.
Magma.
Yeah, we've got like there's an inner core and there's an outer core and there's a magma layer, and the Earth moves, like underneath the crust, the Earth is moving, and that's what leads to the fact of mountains. That's what leads to volcanoes and all this kind of other stuff. Because of that, because Mercury doesn't have that underneath, and you can imagine that's potentially because of how close it is to the sun and the heat. I don't know the ins and outs. I'm not going to pretend to, but that's why it has nothing changes.
No.
Geologically, nothing's going on.
So that's
because like you get the stone layers, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
But that part of that is because of things just building up on top of it, and then new stuff coming around and blah blah blah. But there's never new stuff.
Where it has no natural satellites, no moons.
No moons.
Because
they'll just get. I was about to say, yep, I'm going to say it anyway. They'll get sucked off by the sun.
You'd like that. It's a diameter.
Just how else to put it.
Oh, good. No, very well done. A diameter of 4,880 kilometres. That's 3,030 miles. That's 38% of that of the Earth. So
yes,
it's a lot smaller.
It is the smallest planet in our solar system.
Has roughly the same surface gravity as Mars due to its density.
Mm-hmm.
It has a dynamic magnetic field with a strength of about 1% of Earth's. So what are we saying? What does that actually mean?
So 1% of Earth.
Yeah, they're the dynamic magnetic field.
Okay.
Anyway, Mercury consists of approximately 70% metallic
It's
and
not very strong with
30% silicate material. Wow. That blew me away as well. Mercury has almost no atmosphere, again like the Emirates, to retain heat and has surface temperatures that change wildly during the day. Now, this is what you were saying, ranging from minus 173 degrees centigrade at night to 427 degrees centigrade during the day.
Why do you think that might be?
Well, because of the sun. And that it's so close to the sun that when the sun is actually on, whatever,
when they turn the sun on, yeah.
When the sun comes on, it's switched on. It is so intense because it is so close that's why there's such a range in the temperatures. Because obviously, when it's night on one, it's like. It's like the Chuckle Brothers trying to explain. Yeah, that's what it's like with me, and I'm sure they're a lot more intelligent.
You're right in a lot of ways. What we're talking about is the sun hitting it. So during the day, the sun's just gonna be direct. It's really close, and it's direct, just hitting Mercury like bang, 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 bang. Yeah, it's gonna be incredibly hot. Yeah, at night it gets incredibly cold. Now, what's the reason the Earth, in reality, yes, it gets cold overnight and it gets warm during the day, but it doesn't tend to differ that much. What was the reason it doesn't differ that much?
Well, Connor, I don't know.
What's something that the Earth has, but you said that Mercury doesn't? Begins with an A.
Atmosphere?
Yeah, that's it. So you've got the atmosphere, and the atmosphere, because it has no atmosphere, it's not going to be able to retain that heat or block off some of it, because Earth would be hotter without an atmosphere during the day, because it just had to be bombarded by sun rays. Because it's got the atmosphere, it does retain heat overnight, so you get those warm summer evenings, and it obviously gets colder as the night goes on, and so often it's colder in the morning. You get frost in the morning, don't you?
Yeah,
because it's lost heat overnight. But yeah, it can't retain its heat, and it also can't reflect back some of its heat. Partly the reason it would struggle not have an atmosphere so much is because of the likes of it being so close to the sun.
Well, that's the next point. The sun's I don't know why I've written this, but I've put the sun's very intense. Maybe I'll put in brackets. Maybe too intense. I have no idea why.
Where did you write this episode?
A while back, and I think writing it is a stretch. Due to Mercury's slow rotation, a person on the planet would only
be another
see
reason why it doesn't have
one
atmosphere.
Mercurian solar day. This is what I said earlier. 176 Earth days, every 2 Mercurian solar years. So basically, just because of the rotation, this is what I talked about before, the rotation of the planet and the axis in which it rotates as well. I keep looking at it as if it's the Earth, basically, and that I should compare it to what we have, and that's just like you explained earlier.
But that's a natural thing to do. Is if you're trying to put it into quantifiable things, in reality, that's the way of life on Mercury. There's no life on Mercury, but that would be the way of life on Mercury.
They've got ice. They've got ice build up on the poles. But it never sees the sun, so it actually doesn't ever melt. It's maintained there, and that surprised me, because I'd have thought it was devoid of any sort. I know, because water is like the lifeblood of everything. You expect, if a planet, I mean, they're often saying, they've discovered on Mars, there could be these deposits of water like ice, and that would mean there might be life, there might be, or there was, or whatever, or it could contain microscopic beings or whatever. So when I actually saw that Mercury had that surprised me, because I thought Mercury was pretty much just a rock, devoid of anything like that.
There's a lot of moons around the around the solar system that have ice on them and stuff like that. There's loads that have.
No,
ice.
it's just obviously whenever they talk about exploring the solar system and talk about finding traces of, that's usually the one thing they talk about, is finding traces of water or ice or whatever, because it means quite a lot for that to be there.
Yeah.
So,
don't you find it interesting as well that that it's a really dense planet?
Yeah, bit like this one.
But like, you got the likes of other planets within the solar system. Jupiter, biggest planet in the solar system. Agreed?
Yeah, no spoilers, please.
Yeah, but not that dense.
No.
Why is it not that dense?
I don't know, Connor.
Because it's a gas planet. It's just
because it's a gas planet. That's why.
I mean, gases aren't as dense as solids, are they?
Yeah, that's what I meant to say.
Anyway.
Like Venus, and again,
don't spoil it.
No spoilers. Mercury orbits the Sun within Earth's orbit, making it appear in the Earth's sky as what we often say as the morning star or the evening star. Mercury is the most difficult planet to reach from the Earth because it requires the greatest change in a spacecraft's velocity. Now, that surprised me because I would have imagined the furthest to reach the planets in our solar system, surely the one that's furthest away from us is the hardest to get to. But is there a particular reason? I suppose because it's so near to the Sun and you wouldn't...
Yeah, I guess to a certain extent what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to reduce the velocity down quite drastically, because as you get closer, you're going to be following that gravitational pull and potentially accelerate, I guess. I don't know. I think it's also going to be one of the hardest just how close it is to the Sun. I know they've gone and checked out Mercury before with satellites. Well, but what they've done is they've crashed those into the Sun afterwards.
Yeah, quite. Only 3 spacecraft have visited Mercury as of 2023. Mariner 10 flew by in 1974-75. Messenger launched in 2004, flying by Mercury, first in 2008, and orbited it over 4,000 times between 2011 and 2015. And the Bepi-Colombo spacecraft flew by Mercury first in 2021, and it is scheduled to make its final arrival at Mercury, which I presume means that's it then. It's going to fly, as you say, into the Sun or Mercury itself in 2025, where it will then insert 2 orbiters. Now, the thing about it is that I didn't know... Obviously, there's been various satellites sent out, sending back pictures and data for our solar system. You know, and I understand why we're gathering that sort of information. You know, it's important for us to understand how these things work and what's out there and all the rest of it. Exploration and all the rest of it.
Arguably, I'm just going to come in with I do think it's good to learn about these things, but arguably you could say, is it important for us to know how these things work?
This was my point about Mercury, because I'm thinking, well,
we've survived this long without it.
Yeah, quite. And from what we know about Mercury, it serves no purpose to us. There's nothing there. I don't mean to say of interest, but
you're scared you might upset Mercury.
Well, I don't want all these big Mercury fans out there. I don't want them all getting on our backs about it. But it doesn't seem to offer anything. What are they going to find from it? I know, obviously, they're trying to find out more and more information about how our solar system was created in the first place, but it doesn't seem like the most interesting one to look at, and that you get more out of it. Obviously, I'm not a scientist.
In reality, you don't know what's interesting about it until you go there.
I suppose so. But we'll never go there as send actual people there. We're as far as we know, that's certainly not unlikely. But we are looking to send people to, say, Mars.
Mars probably, hopefully, within my lifetime.
Yeah. That would be good for you, wouldn't it?
I don't want to go myself.
Well, I won't be able to go. They won't be doing it in my lifetime, will they?
You never know.
You reckon? I can't see that happening. It is really interesting. I know we started this episode off about the moon, but it does get people talking about it.
It always comes back to the moon.
But it does.
It's our closest thing, isn't it?
It's fascinating. It feels like it started with it, although there were many things that happened before. But it feels like that's where it really, for want of a better way of putting it, took off. And to come back to it, I mean, presumably they want to learn more about the moon as well. And
oh yeah, I mean, 100%. This is the thing though, when it comes to all this, is I appreciate you've been doing some prep for this podcast, but day to day, how often do you think about space and the other planets within our solar system?
I try not to think about it because, to be quite honest with you, if I think about it, it hurts my head.
Fair enough, but my point being is you look at you can look at the moon every day and you can look at the stars every day, but sometimes you don't necessarily think about what's beyond that. And the moon is kind of the first one that, from Earth, you can actually physically see a different world from Earth. Now, granted, you've already mentioned you can see Mercury, you can see Venus, you can see Jupiter, you can see Saturn.
But you can't see them in any detail, but you can. Well, you could if you had the equipment to do it. But the moon, I could walk out, I don't know whether it's cloudy today, but I could walk out in the garden now and look up at it and see
you can look
quite
at
a bit of detail.
You can see a lot of detail on another world.
Yeah.
And
that is mad,
there's absolutely no doubt in my mind as to why would you not want to go there? Why would you not want to go and see what's going on? And I think it's smart to go, let's have a look at things close to home before we jump all the way. It's a bit like then going to Mars. Why the hell would we jump all the way to go into, I don't know, Uranus, if we have a look at Mars first?
Yeah, but no, that is very, very true.
And we're more likely to find stuff that's actually of use on Mars.
But it's our solar system is one of presumably many, many other solar systems, which is
at least five.
Which is part of. And what I mean when I say it kind of blows my mind is, the other night I was just scanning through the TV trying to find something to watch, and there was a Professor Brian Cox program on. It was kind of a best of by the look of it, but
many stars.
Yep, like that. It was
look
just
up to the sky. That's
and
Donald
you're
Trump.
going Donald Trump again.
Yeah.
Everything turns around to Donald Trump.
Not everything. Gollum doesn't tend to.
No, you did another one the other day and it sounded like Donald Trump. Anyway, but my point being...
Professor Brian Cox, you just got to smile as you do it. Many stars.
But he started talking about stuff, and I realised that he'd only been talking for about, I don't know, 5 minutes, and my facial expression was one like this.
Now, to explain what that was...
Which was like...
eyebrows were going off in two different directions.
It was like
mouth was ajar.
My face was spasming because I couldn't cope with what he was saying. Because it's... When you start to think, what's beyond that? Yeah, but that's that. But where is that?
You know, Sam,
it kind of makes...
He went off Professor Brian Cox when he watched a documentary once that he did about black holes. And by the end of it, he went... he spent so long trying to understand it, and by the end of it, he goes, "It's okay if you don't understand. I don't really understand it either."
That's outrageous. You waste a lot of time. You want to watch these programs because they're experts, not just people messing about. But the
thing is you can't. There's no experts. So there's the closer you get. If they don't know the answer to something, they don't know the answer to something.
And continually looking and trying to work out exactly what's going on.
Strictly speaking, we don't know loads about black holes, but Stephen Hawking was an expert on them.
Yep.
He didn't know everything though, did he?
He didn't know everything, but no one does.
You've done that thing again when you start to go... da, da, da.
Well, then you should take notice and just go with it.
So, I think we should be hearing a song now.
Well, we will be hearing a song. I've written a song. It's about perhaps someone like me who's won a competition to go up into space.
Have you won a competition to go up into space?
No, I haven't. But if I did, I'd be ill-equipped to be there. And this is about a person that goes up into space and feels very much like they've left everything behind. And it's,
what, like when we went camping that time?
That's it, where I left everything behind, and like me, they had to go and find a Sports Direct to get their space stuff. And it's called A Reluctant Astronaut.
Are you sure?
No. Why do I do this every time?
You do it almost every single time.
It's like I know what it is, and as soon as I start to say it, I doubt myself. Yes, definitely called. And no, is it?
Yeah.
And please listen to A Reluctant Astronaut.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Got my things packed. Got my jet back away from white goodbyes. We rise into the sky and I'm gone. G-force, it takes effect. There's ripples in my neck. My face is like Play-Doh, but it's over in a mo, thank God. I'm the only newbie on this deep space mission. I'm only on board cause I won a competition. Remains to be seen if I made the right decision. I guess the time will tell. The food's all in packets like a buffet, and we're rations so we only have 2 a day. I'd rather eat my feet than go another day. Save me from this cosmic hell. Space looks quite vast. From this spacecraft floating upside down, and my smile looks like a frown. I'm bored. Ejected my socks. Out the air, look, they smell like cheese, I'm told, and now my feet are cold. I'm so alone. There's nothing to see except the bleakness of space. I don't wanna be here, you can see it in my face. I'm missing my home, my wife and all my mates. My kids, not so much. I need to have a poo, but I'm constipated. An astronaut's life is hugely overrated. I'm getting pretty anxious, need to be sedated. Waiting for this nightmare to end.
Shuttle 1, this is Space Control. We're picking up a reading of 2 unidentified objects in your vicinity. Over.
Copy that, Space Control. We have visual. It's Dave's socks. I repeat, it's Dave's socks. They're heading straight towards you and gaining speed. Over.
Roger that, Shuttle 1, this is Space Control. They've entered our atmosphere and show no signs of slowing. God help us all. Over.
Space Control, this is Shuttle 1. Do you read me? Do you read me, Space Control?
Game time.
What a lovely song. Now shall we play a game?
We shall play a game. I've got a bit of a cosmic quiz for you, Connor.
Cosmic quiz?
A cosmic quiz.
You know what's funny is it sounds like that's illiterate, but it's not, because one's a Q and one's a C.
Yeah, well done. But you're not getting a point for that. Would you like to play?
Splay.
Would you like to splay my spling?
What?
Would you like to play my sting?
Ah, yes.
Are you a space ranger? Or prefer to avoid the danger? Try and solve my cosmic quiz, and I might let you live.
Well, a lovely sting.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know why you're looking at me there.
Hang on. Let's try again. Right, I got this. Oh,
You got.
oh, what a lovely sting.
Thank you. That was very nice.
That's all right.
Right, you ready for this, Sim?
I forgot what we were doing there for
It's
a moment.
Mercury or Mockery. It's my cosmic quiz. It's a true or false. I'm going to give you some statements about space in general and things in space. And I want you to tell me whether you think it's Mercury or a mockery.
So, yeah, very
True
Mercury based.
No, it's not Mercury based at all, but it's true or false.
We spoke about this briefly for a moment whilst we weren't recording.
Yes.
What's the reason it's not Mercury based?
I couldn't really find anything out about
It's a
Mercury.
bit
We
too
hadn't
boring,
already
isn't it?
said. Yeah, it was a bit boring, really. Anyway, so here we go then. Number 1. The moon is not round and in fact is shaped like a lemon.
Well, Mercury.
Oh, I've forgotten what. What are you saying Mercury for? So you think that's true?
No, mockery.
Are you sure?
Well, it's relatively round. It's not shaped like a lemon because lemons have nipples on the end.
Well, I don't think it necessarily means it's exactly like a.
All right.
a
Well,
lemon.
in that way, it is slightly squashed, just slightly more rugby ball shaped than it is.
So like a bit like a lemon then.
No.
So what we
Mercury.
say? Mercury, true.
Yep.
Yes, that's true. It is exactly the same shape as a lemon.
No, it's not.
Right.
It's not exactly the same shape as a lemon.
I think you'll find it says here T.
Did you write that down?
Yep.
Yeah. So
Question
I feel
2.
like you should be. I feel like you should be saying these rather than saying question 2. You should say it like Roman numerals because Mercury is a Roman god.
Okay. 2.
No.
Aye.
Yep.
Black holes have a cosmic opposite called white holes. While a black hole sucks things in, a white hole spits things out.
Mockery.
That is Mercury. That is true.
Right. Where are these white holes then?
I've read it in a
Where?
science book.
Where did you read it?
There
was
are
it a
white
science
holes.
fiction
There
book?
are no. There are white holes.
Okay. When you say this, you didn't read a book, by the way. Can we just clarify that? You never read that book. A book.
Well, does looking on the internet is that the same as reading a book?
No.
Then no, I didn't.
Okay. So, was this a theory or was it actually determined as true?
Well, we've ascertained the fact that a lot of things to do with the solar system, space, is theoretical. And I
Can
mean,
you say that?
No, I can't. Theoretical,
Okay.
right? So
Because what you're saying now is it's starting to sound more like a Red Dwarf episode.
I know
A
it's
white
like
hole?
I know it's like a Red Dwarf episode, but in fact, it is true.
Are we going to have to do it? Is it?
Yep. So
The thing is,
got
you
that
can't
one.
even say you definitely feel like it's true.
I can. It's definitely true.
Right.
Aye. Female astronauts do not wear bras on the ISS because of the difference in gravity.
Yeah. True.
That is a mockery. That is false, you dirty boy.
Well,
no, they do. They do.
Well, why do they need to
would-
wear a bra? Because a
they
bra is
don't-
meant to hold their boobs up, but if there's no
But
gravity,
it's
there's
more
nothing
to
holding
do
them,
with
pulling them
modesty
down, is
and
it?
that. Yeah.
Or they
but
could get them flown off in two different directions.
They could interfere with the controls. Anyway, IV number 4. Neptune has only completed one orbit around the sun since we discovered it.
Mercury.
Neptune has only completed
No,
one.
you can't say Mercury.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, no, it's confusing me now. Can we just go true or false?
Okay.
No, Neptune. The Neptune, not Mercury. Right. So you think that's true?
Yeah.
Neptune has only completed one orbit around the sun since we discovered it. That is true. 160 years to complete one full orbit, and it was discovered in 1846.
Yeah, it wasn't actually discovered that long ago because a lot of the other planets
So
were
it's
discovered
not-
by the likes of.
So it's not that long ago that it did complete its first orbit.
Yeah. So a lot of planets a number of the planets in the solar system were discovered quite a long time ago because you could see them in the night sky.
Yeah.
Even though they weren't necessarily referred to as planets, but they've been there for a long time, recognisable.
What is the definition of a planet, by the way, as opposed to... So Pluto was reclassified as a dwarf planet.
Yeah.
So what's the difference between them?
I don't know the full ins and outs. I
think I asked that question once before.
The one's very small.
The International Space
I would say
Station.
Mercury probably borders on.
There's
being
quite a
dwarf
few
planet.
about the International Space Station, by the way.
Okay.
Because I started reading about it and it was interesting. The International Space Station has 2 toilets on board, one for poo-poos and one specifically for pee-pees.
True.
That's false. For a start, it has 3 toilets and you can do whatever you like in them. Okay. Question V.
To be fair, I've seen the toilet on the space station, and well, not personally, but I yeah, it does both. I've seen it.
VI. So what did you say?
I don't know.
VI 6. When on the International Space Station, due to safety concerns, you are unable to have a haircut for the duration of your stay.
No, that's untrue. They shave.
You're correct. There are clippers that they use which are attached to things like vacuum cleaners. So immediately after shaving, or as they're shaving, whatever it is, it goes directly into the vacuum, obviously, so it doesn't float around and get in people's tea.
They don't really drink tea.
No, maybe they do, maybe they don't. It's not in the quiz, so I can't answer that. Question VII or 7. Astronauts cannot smell their food due to food aromas wafting away due to the absence of gravity and having blocked up noses.
False.
That is true. So basically...
They're blocked up noses?
Yeah. So one of the things that will happen to you, they have their nasal cavities play up, basically, so they can't actually smell their food. And because most of the fact that you smell your food, because it remains where it is, it might waft a little bit, but because of gravity as well, that means that it can hardly get any of the scent of it.
I guess that's good if you're having microwave fish.
Exactly. Right, question 8 or VIII. Yes, that's correct, isn't it?
Yep.
In 2019, astronaut Sergei Korsakov brought down the communication systems aboard the International Space Station for 5 minutes when he farted near a sensor gauge, which in turn rebooted the system.
False.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Yes, it is false. It didn't happen.
What was his name?
Sergei Korsakov. I know you always look to see if I put something with a little double meaning on it, but I believe that's an actual person that's up in the International Space Station at the moment. So that's a real person. Okay. The penultimate question.
Astronaut or false note?
Question number 9. Now that can either be IX, or if you're got a clock like NJ's, it will be VIII.
In fairness, that's a very good point. Yeah, Nanny Joyce's clock did say VIII, but it is IX.
Anyway, you cannot be a
weird,
pilot.
isn't it?
Yeah, it is really weird. You cannot be a pilot astronaut if you are smaller than 5'1" or taller than 6'2".
Yeah, true.
That is true.
Can't reach pedals.
I didn't realise you'd know that. No, it's just, well, it's just...
But they're very tight spaces, and you also need to be able to be safe.
It surprises me with a 6'2", because I just have this feeling of these astronauts being these physical specimens that they're really, but...
Someone being 6'2" doesn't make them a physical specimen.
No, but what I mean is...
It actually comes with a lot of health issues.
Yeah, I guess so.
Being too tall. However, the population of the Earth's height is increasing, so we'll see whether that shifts. It's probably the main feature, though, is the fact that it's just not designed for people that tall.
No, exactly. And every single millimetre is accounted for because of what they need to fit in there.
Yeah.
This is your last question then in this quiz. So X or 10. For a number of decades, it was thought that men's penises got larger in space. But a further, more detailed study of changes in anatomy revealed that their legs get shorter.
Right.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is it just comparatively they were longer because their legs got shorter?
Yeah, because their legs got shorter, it looked like they'd increased in size.
Right, interesting. So just to clarify, people's legs actually get longer in space. So that's true. That's false, sorry.
Now, I've put true, but I'm pretty sure that was false and I made that up. So I think I've just put that down.
Sounds like you might have done that for some other questions as well, but...
No. All the other ones are absolutely 100% correct.
Even the white hole one?
Yeah, even the white hole one. And that...
Where does it spit out matter from? Where does a white hole spit out matter from?
I don't know all about that stuff. You asked me to do these things and create quizzes. I have to go online and check all detail and all this. Are you all right there? Did you hit that microphone then?
Well, I'm not being funny. You whacked your drink down earlier. It went...
Whack my drink down. I do my best, Connor. I do my best, and if you don't like it, then. But well done. No, you got quite a few of them right. I reckon you probably got 8 out of 10.
Love the fact that you don't know.
Well, I don't really take much notice. But there you go. That's another one down. Yeah, I've sung. That's the end of my little quiz.
Did you?
Well, I have now. If I didn't do before,
I don't think you did.
That is the end of my little cosmic quiz.
All right, thank you very much.
That's all right. You're welcome.
Oh, well, I guess that brings us to the end of everything then, doesn't it?
It is.
Not everything.
Yep. It's the end of this show, and it is a show.
Is it?
It is. So
what
next
do you
week,
perform then?
What?
Do you perform?
It's in a way, yes, I guess.
Are you a caricature of yourself?
No, I think I'm pretty much myself these days on these because I started off and was very conscious of the way I sounded and what I said, and now I just say
right
whatever.
At the start, you wanted a catchphrase.
I've got many catchphrases. Did you know? Okay, then. And that is the end of my little quiz, and all sorts of things like that. Waylay 'em. Oh, that actually is probably the most infamous of my catchphrases. So, next week.
What was the other one? The 11 of Diamonds?
The 11 of Diamonds. Yeah, apart from those two and all the others, I haven't got a catchphrase. No.
All right.
Next week.
You know, some of those aren't really catchphrases because you just said them like once.
Yeah, I know. But they could still be catchphrases.
Right. Next week,
the subject is human evolution. Human evolution. Right? And I'm looking forward to this one. I think this is going to be a good one because it is very, very interesting. And we're going to sort of do a cross-section of from start to finish. And it's going to be probably the most comprehensive study that anybody's done on this since Darwin.
Okay.
And I've written a song.
All right, okay.
Okay.
Well, if you do want to send us a message, you can do so via the website fatherandsundays.com. Go to the contact us page or email us at contactus@fatherandsundays.com. You can also go on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Threads, X, and you can follow, share those, and you can send them messages. Email episodes are available on the website or in your chosen podcast platform.
Great. That was done with such passion. So,
yep.
It's goodbye from me.
Bye.